Hey everybody, Brian Zane here to give you my thoughts on what I think will go down this weekend when WWE presents Fastlane from Indianapolis. It's a welcome change of pace looking at this card right now on a Friday morning and seeing there are only 5 matches announced, having just come back from a pay-per-view in Seattle that had well over a dozen. So that is one thing I do like about WWE lately, is that their B shows especially, they really, shave down the number of matches to a nice, easy to digest formula, and I do appreciate that. There might be another match or two added between now and when that show happens on Saturday, but we're not talking about those matches. Let's begin with the 6-man match that was announced as the LWO take on Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I have to say, I think that the Street Profits joining Lashley right now and them being a trio, that can only do wonders for Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. I feel they really accomplished literally everything they possibly could have done as like a babyface tag team with the cups and everything. Like that had ran its course. It was successful, but I think right now, especially, considering what the landscape of the tag team scene is in WWE, it helps for them to pivot a little bit and be a bit more aggressive, be a bit more serious, and aligning themselves with Lashley, I think, is going to go a long way into that. I still hold out great hopes for, either of those guys as singles wrestlers eventually, but we're not there yet. As far as this match goes, I think this is definitely a platform for Lashley and company to succeed. I believe they're going to win this one. I'm not sure what the combination of the LWO they're going to have. Will it be, Escobar and Wilde and Mendoza? Will Mysterio be a part of it? Who knows? But I think no matter what the combination is, I think you're going to get a lot of fun moments in this one. There's a lot of just like potential energy there, a lot of great athleticism just on paper between all 6 guys. But I do believe that Lashley and the Street Profits are going to win. For the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, Damian Priest and Finn Balor defend against Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso. Boy, you got a feel for Jey Uso, who went and jumped shows to become a singles competitor. It's just me, Us, day one-ish, and your first storyline has you teaming with somebody, and it's not your brother. Now, granted, this is part of the storyline where, Cody is vouching for Jey because that was the big question, after the last pay-per-view, like Kevin Owens, asking Cody point blank, why do you trust this guy? And so Cody, really, putting his stamp of approval on Jey is, good for Jey as a character. And again, it was good to christen him on this singles run. But I guess before that maiden voyage, you gotta have one more tag team program. That being said, it seems like it's, the Judgment Days to win. I really don't see Cody and Jey, picking up some token tag team title runs to keep them busy, when really, again, it should be more about focusing on Jey as this singles guy. And of course, seems very silly to derail the momentum of the Judgment Day at this point, so my prediction stands, and they got Finn and Damian retaining. But hey, over on SmackDown, what's the rest of the Bloodline doing? Well, as we know, we haven't seen Roman Reigns since SummerSlam, and it's been Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa just kind of hanging out with Paul Heyman on SmackDown every week ever since then, and they are clearly being set up, I should say, to be fodder for their opponents at Fastlane, John Cena and Los Angeles Knight. I'll tell you what, the pop that LA Knight got when he came out to save Cena last week was one of the biggest pops that wasn't like a debut or a return, for a long time absence that I've heard in a long time. That is a star player right there. And it's so cool to see like what might have been if they kept on going with Max Dupree, and like he might not even be in WWE at this point if that ship stayed the course. So the fact that they were able to turn that around and give LA Knight this platform, and he's been able to take that ball and run with it, and the fans are absolutely committed to it. You love to see that sort of thing happening. And the fact that he has had these moments now with John Cena, first there was the match with Miz where Cena was the guest referee, and now they're partners together. Like, man, they are really putting that stamp of approval on Knight, and I think that this is a great way to go about doing it. So yeah, LA Knight and John Cena are most definitely winning this matchup. Then you get the World Heavyweight Championship match, last man standing, as Shinsuke Nakamura challenges Seth Rollins. It's a rematch from their last PLE matchup that saw Seth win, but of course the back is still an issue. Seth is still working hurt. That's been the story they've been running with for about the last month and a half or so. And you get the feeling that this could be Shinsuke's time. I love that segment with Shinsuke and Seth on Raw this past week, where you got the recording of Shinsuke Shinsuke counting to 10, and Seth keeps getting up, and Shinsuke keeps beating him down. He just counts fast himself afterward. That was really powerful, and I love this new attitude of Shinsuke. I think, you know, this could be a case where it's like, hey, somebody wins the big top prize years after they should have won it, but hey, we're giving it to him anyway. I think that's what might happen with this one. I think that eventually the whole injury thing with Seth, it's going to become too much to overcome. He will be beaten down to the point where Shinsuke wins and becomes the new world champion. And that would be a very interesting reign. I hope it's more fruitful than like the other times Shinsuke held like the Intercontinental Championship for months on end and like never defended it. But, you know, that's one option. I also had a thought where maybe Seth will escape by the skin of his teeth. Damian Priest comes in and cashes in and becomes the new champion that way. Then you make Damian a double champion, which I don't know if that is the right course of action yet. I do think Seth retaining and that just being the end of the show is like the least interesting outcome. So I would have to guess it's going to be either Shinsuke winning or Damian Priest swooping in and cashing in and becoming champion. But of those two choices, I think I would probably go with, you know, the more sensible of the two and say Shinsuke will win and become the new champion. But those are just my thoughts, folks. And hey, I've been wrong before, so let me know what you think is going to happen at Fastlane this weekend in the comment section below. The review for Fastlane might come a little bit later than normal. I will be out of town on Saturday. I'm going to be up in Portland, Oregon to continue the Brian Zane era up in DOA Pro Wrestling as I am their new general manager. So go check that out on IWTV Saturday if you're not watching Fastlane, or maybe you can watch one right after the other. But either way, I will have a review for Fastlane out for you either on Monday or early Tuesday at the absolute latest. But until then, folks, I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.